Lonely road is all I see, from California to Tennessee. But I don't mind where it goes, for tomorrow night I'll be home. Across the desert, across the plains, and all that lives there is in the grave. And one by one they all move on into a land that's long, long gone. Where does it go? Where does it go? This road that I'm traveling, God only knows. And when will it end? Oh, and when will it end? Oh, I could bear it a little longer if I knew you were my friend. If I knew you were my friend. All these strangers passing by, looking for answers in this life, with empty souls and dreary eyes, they turn their heads to the skies. They ask, why, Lord, did you put me here? All I feel is the doubt and fear of all my wrongs and crooked ways. I swear they'll see me to the grave. Then a voice rose like the sunrise of all the long asked, why, son, are you fretted? For you are never alone. You are never alone. Where does it go? Where does it go? This road that I'm traveling, God only knows. And when will it end? Oh, and when will it end? Oh, I could bear it a little longer if I knew you were my friend. If I knew you were my friend. This lonely road is all I see, from California to to Tennessee, but I don't mind where it goes. For tomorrow night I'll be home. Oh, I don't mind where it goes, 'cause for tonight I'm not alone.
Hello, welcome to another episode of 47 North, the show featuring the best musicians along the 47 North latitude area. I'm your host, Kim Nagler, and we are here with a very special guest today. We have Jed LaPlant joining us today. Jed, how are you?
Oh, good. It's good to be here.
We just met real briefly in the entryway here of ICTV, and I was wondering if your name was short for Jedi, which I was hoping like Star Wars Jedi, but you say it is short for
Jedediah.
Jedediah. And I've heard of Jebediah, so Jedediah is another name. And then the LaPlant name means, are you related to the LaPlant family does music in Grand Rapids?
There's quite a few of us.
There's quite a few. So you are offspring of that family. It's kind of like being part of the Carter family.
Yeah, a little bit.
It is.
In its own local way.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So do you hail from Grand Rapids?
Yeah, born and raised. I grew up just south of town, back in the woods a little bit, and kind of within a mile or two through the woods from a lot of other LaPlants.
Okay.
That was the born and raised. That's the spot.
Were you always surrounded by music as a child, and were you given the period of time to kind of choose what instrument you might want to play, or did someone just say, here, play this because we need a bass player or a guitar player, what have you?
Yeah, I grew up always going down to Grandpa's, sitting around the table. There'd be fiddle players coming from Canada, or whoever else just coming in to play, and that was just kind of what we did. We went down and played music, and it was never a forced thing, but I noticed after a while that there was no upright bass player at the time. So I thought, well, I could play that. And I was real small at the time. I think that was probably close to second grade. But thumping a bass is pretty simple.
Was it taller than you?
It was pretty tall. It was kind of reaching straight up, yeah. But that's kind of how it started.
That's so awesome. Mm-hmm. We're going to start right now by hearing another song by Jed LaPlant and then come back with some more questions.
I went out there searching for the end of the road that I was on, but instead I just kept drifting from the path that I naively set out on. I was wandering slowly from where I was. There was no help to be found in the times that I was in, and there was a time or two that I could have called at the end. I was hanging on still where I live. I was wandering slowly towards the sky. When I was younger, I was out beside there. He said to me, son, don't ever call my name. When the time comes up, I can find you. I wish to remind you when I'm home again. It'll be the last time I ever see you again. Still pressing onwards, I found a gentle hole where I could rest. And finding shelter there, I put my wits and my temptations to the test. There's not a soul here like the rest. I can call it home here, and be blessed. When I was younger, I was up beside there. He said to me, son, don't ever call my name. When the time comes up, I can find you. I wish to remind you when I'm home again. It'll be the last time I my thoughts are drifting down the road. Where my mind lay wasn't told, but still I'll remain till I'm old. Because in the end, I'm my own best friend. When I was younger, I was up beside there. He said to me, son, don't ever call my name. When the time comes up, I can find you. I wish to remind you when I'm home again. When I was younger, I was up beside there. He said to me, son, don't ever call my name. When the time comes up, I can find you. I wish to remind you when I'm home again. It'll be the last time I ever see you again. No, it'll be the last time I ever see you again. Oh, it'll be the last time I ever see you again.
All right, we're back with Jed LaPlant to visit with them a little bit here, and I just wanted to ask you a couple questions here today, Jed. And one of them is, who are your influences musically? Who are some of the people that you go, yeah?
Yeah, there's a singer-songwriter named Gregory Alan Isakov, I think, who, when it comes to songwriters living in this day and age, he's up there at the top. The guy just knows how to write a song. A lot of, I remember the first, Mumford & Sons would be another big one, I think, in this day and age. I remember the first time I heard them, they had sort of the roots that I grew up listening to with the bluegrass and the folk music, but there's dynamics and there was horns, and I remember that's kind of opening up a new perspective on the whole music that I grew up with.
Okay.
But I've always looked up to a lot of the old. I grew up listening to the old Marty Robbins cowboy ballads and the kind of songs where you can almost watch what's going on as he sings through.
Wow.
And so I've always tried to tell a story, I guess.
Storytellers. Storytellers. That's what I like the most too. And I've had different people on the show before that are, some is just a melodic sense of, music. They don't even care about lyrics, right? Yep. And I'm just really drawn to lyrics and a storytelling, sort of a format, just by just what I like, you know. Well, let's hear another song by Jed LaPlant.
Simply finding my way through, and I hope by some good measure I can make it home to you, to hear the trees running wild and band to play. Well, I hope I make it back there someday. It's been a year and many months since I've last seen that place. By the time I get to Denver, I won't have too much to face. So I'll sing this little song to carry me home. Oh, I won't have too much farther to roam. But for now I'm stuck here waiting, and the daylight is fading. I guess I'll have to wait out on my own. Well, I guess it's just the way things go. Well, I guess it's just the way things go. Well, I am just a rambler, nobody knows my name except my mama who's in heaven and those with which she waits. And I spent my whole life wondering why. Maybe someday I'll know in the sky. So I'm going up on a mountain to see where my truth lies, to see if I can go to heaven. Maybe someday when I die, and I'll hope to see your face round here again. Well, I promise you this isn't the end. But I'm leaving in the morning without a single warning. I'll have to travel further down that road. Well, I guess it's just the way things go. Well, I guess it's just the way things go. Packed my bags and headed north at the first sign of the news. When I got there it was snowing, and I got those winter blues. Try to push them all away just like the snow. And at the end of it all I just don't know how long a man can last in silence before he has to break. And the ones who wait there with him don't know what it's gonna take to bring him back from the end of this road. But don't worry, I'm on my way home. And then Mama lost the answers, and Daddy caught the cancer. I guess we tried to melt out of this snow. Well, I guess it's just the way things go. Well, I guess it's just the way things go. Now I'm up on a mountain, there's nowhere else to climb, until I see the face of Jesus coming face to face with mine. And I'll ask him why it happens this way. Oh, he'll look to me and this is what he'll say: still a lot of work to do, son. You've carried yourself well, but the truth is some are waiting, some for heaven and some for hell. So carry on in the promise of my name, that I bled a crown of thorns to drown your shame. And in the meantime, don't be silent, for the wicked still are violent. Just do your best to walk this narrow road. And someday when you get here, you'll know, well, you never walked this road on your own. And someday when you get here, you'll know, well, you never walked this road on your own.
We have been sitting here talking and listening to Jed LaPlant. I have another question for you, Jed. This is just kind of aside from music, what are some things that you enjoy doing, some hobbies or recreational things you like to do?
Yeah, I think a big thing for me during anytime there's not salt on the roads, I love being out on a bike, a motorcycle. Okay. There's something about the fresh air and the wind hitting you that isn't it like anything else. So I think during the warm months, I'm always out doing that. If I'm not doing that, I love being out in the woods and walking around and talking with the owls and seeing the deer and all that kind of stuff. I think it's one of the hidden gems up here, you
Absolutely.
know, that I grew up in it, but the more I travel around and go places, it's one of those things that not everybody gets to do.
No.
And so I love doing that, and you know, it's good being in the neighborhood just playing music. Like I say, right where I live now, I bought my great uncle's old house, which is just through the woods from my grandparents. And so lots of times during the week we'll go down there and play music and just hang out, be family.
I love it. I'm glad that you are here and that you're enjoying life up here as well. So thanks for that. And we're going to hear another song by Jed.
You went out searching for gold in the west. I watched you stumble out of the hallway door, fighting an endless war. You read the Bible and hailed to the mast. We were much younger then. It's all in the past. Don't go along now. I can't bear the sight of watching you wishing there's more in the alleyways. You find on the tracks your heart is a lonely road, weathered and bare, longing for water out in the cold. You never do as you're told. freedom and wandering. So you've got no home. I hope you're safe now, wandering an aimless road. Well, burying your heavy load.
We're back with Jed LaPlant now, and we're going to ask him another question. How do you go about writing a song? What happens to be an inspiration, or what comes to you? How does that happen for you?
Yeah, I think the way I approach it is completely autobiographical, really. I think it comes out of times where I seem to be feeling a lot.
Okay.
A lot of the songs from this first record I did was revolved around this trip I took out west at a time where there was a lot of transition going on and just new things that I didn't see coming, and needed some fresh air and some new perspective, and just kind of took off for 2 weeks on my own. And so it was sort of that whole record was kind of the story of leading up to that, the journey that was, and then sort of the feeling of coming back home. And there was a lot to get through. Nice. On that, I think. So it's not something I can, or even really want to, I think, sit down and just write a song, but it's more so just telling what I'm walking through, really, you
Nice.
know, at the time.
That's awesome.
This is a story about a young boy who grew into a man out on the road. His folly was the years spent in silence, so he set out to find his way back home. We said our goodbyes in the springtime. I guess this is the end of the road. I wish you all the best in your next life. As for now, I must go on. It's been years since I've seen you, my dear son. Your mind was headed west long ago. I hope you find your peace out there somewhere. Just promise one day you'll come home. So I'm leaving as the dawn breaks the morning. I can't say when I'll find my way back home. Now don't grow sad and lonesome, for I promise one day I'll come home. Now you're going away for a long while to your long-awaited home beyond the rain, in the arms of the ever-loving Father. But I promise I'll see you again.
Okay, we've come to the part of our show here, Jed, that I have a little game show that I started called Either Or.
Okay.
So all you have to do is you have 30 seconds on the clock, and then we'll tally at the end to see how many you got right or correct. And it's just an either or. So I say either this or that, and you just answer your first reaction. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So either the Beach Boys or the Beatles.
Oh, maybe the Beach Boys.
I'm there with you. Either summer or fall.
Definitely fall.
We were just talking about that. Mm-hmm. Either Ozark mountain music or Kentucky bluegrass.
I think the Ozarks.
Either the Super Loop or the Ferris wheel.
Boy, probably the Ferris wheel, because I probably wouldn't throw up on that one.
I love it. I know we'd be able to tell a little bit more about you when you answered some of those. But the tally has come in, and you did get them all correct. So congratulations,
Perfect.
Jed LaPlant. We are so happy to have you here. Are you going to play where next? Where's your next gig? And what you're working. Tell us a little bit about the vinyl that you're talking about that you're pressing.
Yeah. So the next big one coming down the line, I'm working on pressing some vinyl this fall. It's kind of fun because it'll turn out just about a year after I did the CD release last October, and so that'll be at the new Rapids Brewing Company in town here.
Okay.
I did a gig there last Friday, just kind of feeling things out, and it's a really cool place. I like that they brought in they brought the history of the old Rialto Theater in there too, and kind of a neat community piece, you know,
awesome.
to carry it on. So don't have an exact day. That'll be mid-October sometime,
Okay.
and that'll be a fun one.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Until then, you just keep on doing what you're doing, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing you. I'll catch you sometime live for sure. But thank you so much for coming on and joining us. Thanks everybody out there too for joining us for another episode of 47 North. I want to thank our guest Jed LaPlant for joining us today. I'm your host Kim Nagler, and until our next episode, take care, take it easy, and keep the music alive.
Heart of a father never gives up, even after the winter's all dried up. The songs of this heart, they just wither away, like the rain and the clouds on a sunny day. Now the man in the mirror stands 2 feet high. swear I'd come to you each time you call. Now it's early December, my feet they grow cold. There's snow on the ground and the ponds all froze. Well, I try and I try, but I just can't hide all the loneliness now that I feel inside. Now the man in the mirror stands 4 feet tall, and I swear I'd come to you each time you call. The words of this song will soon come to an end. Like my life on this earth, far away I will send. Well, he said to me, son, someday you'll see, and we'll sing and we'll dance for eternity. I swear I'd come to you each time you call. Now the man in the mirror stands 6 feet tall, and I swear I'd come to you each time you call.
.47 North is made possible in part by the voters of Minnesota through a grant from the Arrowhead Regional Arts Council. Thanks to appropriations from the Minnesota State Legislators' General and Arts and Cultural Heritage Funds, it is produced by ICTV, a Blandin Foundation-supported nonprofit and member organization. If you enjoy programs like this, consider contributing to www.watchictv.org. Thanks for watching.